But this is an easy version of the Shield. Low cocking effort on the slide. And by that I mean, you guys are young, strong, and vibrant. You could go with a regular Shield, a regular carry handgun, because you're strong. You're young. That's what I mean. Not everybody in TMP is like that. And that's why I sought out this gun. It is a by request video, by the way, from some TMPers. Thank you very much. The Smith & Wesson Shield EZ series. Here is a Nut and Fancy tabletop review. All the shooting is complete. Yeah, I went to Gunny's, a great American gun store. Thank you, Wyatt. Much appreciated. And this gun is on loan from him. At the time I loaned it, by the way, I need to get it back. I've had it for like, I don't know, 4 months. Thanks for being patient with me, Wyatt. It was selling for $375. That's pretty inexpensive. And I did get a 380. It's an M&P 380 Shield EZ M20. There's the information. It will be at Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store. Please support them. They support me. No, they did not pay me to say that. And I do not pay them unless I buy something from them. I had a request to get an EZ. And to be completely honest, I was not particularly stoked about it. I wasn't. I was like, oh gosh, I don't really want to review that gun. Because it reminded me, and is very similar to the M&P 22. This gun is. Has kind of the same weight, same form factor. It reminded me exactly of an M&P 22 Compact, which I did review. It's one of those 2,650 videos apparently. It's still out there, go look it up. And I reviewed the M&P 22 full size, and like this gun, they're not striker fired guns. They are internal hammer pistols, just like this one. My normal Shield, my original Shield is right here, boys and girls of TMP, right here. That's the one I reviewed way back when. It did all the shooting, has a couple mods on it, and that is a striker fired pistol, internal hammer pistol. That's one reason I wasn't super stoked. I was like, wow, it's so similar to the M&P 22. I should be, you know, devoting my time reviewing something new, something fresh. That's what I thought. I will say, and you'll see as the video goes on, that my eyes were opened a little bit. So were the crew members. But yeah, we were. And we were somewhat prejudiced, as sometimes I am. And I do admit that in my tabletop reviews, against the EZ series. But it's meant for not the young people, unless you've been injured. Bless your hearts if that's happened. I'm so sorry. There are people that do get injured and they don't have a lot of hand strength to rack the slide. But generally it's going to be people who are getting on in years, the elderly, and some female shooters. Like Mrs. Nut and Fancy, by the way. Here's her carry piece, by the way. She's a Glock 43 gal. She likes the Glock. She carries the Glock 43. But she does complain about its cocking force. She don't like it that much. She can do it, but she's not saying, oh yeah, this is so sweet. She shot this gun?
Don't jerk the
Yeah,
trigger.
you know where I'm going, right? She loved it. She's like, now that's a retraction force I can live with. I was like, wow, maybe I'm starting to see the light on the Smith & Wesson Shield EZ series. Yeah, this gun is meant for folks with reduced hand strength because of age, you're getting on in years, because of injuries, or for whatever reason. Maybe it's their preference. They don't like racking a slide that requires 23 pounds of retraction effort like a normal Shield does. About 23 pounds, like this one. And this is an early Shield, so it might be more. But the current M20 Shield is 23 pounds. If you get a 9mm version of the Shield EZ, it will look very similar to that. It has a retraction force of 13 pounds. So basically almost half, right, of a normal Shield. This one right here, the 380, 9 pounds retraction force. 9 pounds. Dude, it's like an airsoft gun. It is. It's like a toy pistol in its retraction force, which a lot of people like. They're stoked about that. It's enjoyable to them. And if you don't believe me, you're not going to do this. Well, let's pretend you did. Go camp out at a gun counter that has these in stock and watch non-gun people come to the counter and handle this gun versus a normal Shield, a Glock 43, a P365, an Honor Guard, whatever other carry pistol you want, a Mossberg, and you'll see they go, wow, that really feels good. I like that. This gun, therefore, and now we're kind of flexing into philosophy of use, really isn't intended for me. Well, not yet. I may lose hand strength in the future. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen. I could have the same issues. We're all getting old. We all can have medical problems. You know that. No, it's not really meant, in my way of thinking, for a gun guy or a gun gal that has a lot of experience. It's meant for Mr. Non-gun guy, non-gun gal, maybe buying a gun for the very first time. And Smith & Wesson did a lot of research to find out what they wanted. I'll get into the features, and you'll see some of the features that it incorporates are for those people. So they did it right. This is a product that has a very defined target market. Those folks. And I think, like I said, a lot of female shooters will prefer the EZ series. So if you're in the market for getting a concealed gun, because I think a lot of people consider this a carry piece, for your gal, girlfriend, wife, maybe your grandmother, have her check this out. Maybe the 380 version, low recoil, easy to shoot. Maybe the 9mm version if they want that power. Try it, and I bet you they love it. Philosophy of use for me is, well, I'll stick with a Shield, a P365, you know, something that attracts me as an experienced gun person. I mean, I came out of mom's womb as a tactical guy. So, okay, maybe not that early, but at age 3. Yeah, we'll start at age 3. I became a tactical gun guy. So I have a lot of experience, so I'm more attracted to something like this. But a lot of folks aren't. They're like, hey man, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Philosophy of use is first-time gun owner. Someone who wants a low retraction force on the slide. And it has certain safety features to make them feel comfortable with the handgun, especially a semi-automatic pistol, of which they don't have a lot of experience with, maybe none. And so maybe this is their first semi-automatic pistol. You'll see in features why it's built the way it is. It makes sense. Home defense gun for you? Maybe. Say in comment if you choose it. I think there's a lot of better options for experienced gun people, especially more powerful. This is a 380, of course, but it does have a pick rail, vehicle gun, motorcycle gun, backpacking gun. All of those things could apply. I would say, honestly, this gun for me would not be a first choice. Unreliable. But say in comment if it was for you and why. Why? And maybe it's just because it's so freaking comfortable and so pleasant to shoot for you. There you go. It makes sense that I get this gun. On we go to features. Otherwise, we'll be here all night, which I'm known for sometimes. Okay, I talked about how Smith & Wesson did research, right? One of the things they found out, according to my research, is their customers shopping for a gun like this prefer having a safety 3-to-1. I know, I was surprised too. I really hadn't heard that before. I usually, as an experienced gun person, with a striker fired pistol, like this one, this is an internal hammer, but I think I criticized the Shield, this is my Shield from way back when, having this little safety right here, although it's easy to ignore, but I didn't like it. And I said at the time, well, it's usually put there so they can market it into states that require it. And by the way, that does remain true. But in this EZ series, I think it's there to satisfy a customer desire. Okay, they don't have experience with Glocks like you do. So they don't know about striker fired pistols, that this is a safe, you know, especially, well, this isn't striker fired, this is an internal hammer, but it's still a long trigger pull. And that you really don't have to use a safety if you don't want to, but they like it. And they put a really good safety on here. It's an ambidextrous one, and it's very positive in the EZ series of pistols. Look at this. I think that's better than the M20 Smith & Wesson M&P 40 I reviewed in, 2016? It also had it. That's a really good safety. Now, when I was shooting it, when the crew were shooting it, we were just like ignoring it. But it's there, and a lot of people wanted it. Okay, another thing they wanted is a loaded chamber indicator. Now, I don't have a round in there, but if I did, you would see this raise up, a la, what, Ruger SR9. So I reviewed that like a decade ago. Another one of those 2650 videos. And I kind of railed on it then. As an experienced person, I don't like it. I don't need it. I know what the status of my gun is. You know, and if you give me a little peekaboo port somewhere along in here and I can see the brass of the cartridge, I'm okay with that. Or a really unobtrusive loaded chamber indicator like a BP9 has, I'm good with that. But having a big old ramp stick up above the slide, I personally don't like it. I think it's obnoxious. But guess what? Non-gun people like it because they can look and feel tactically that the gun is loaded. Another feature they like. Remember who the target market is for this gun. Grip safety. Now, I should say normal, but experienced gun people, we don't generally like grip safeties on our guns. I'm definitely that way. I just think it's added complexity. I just don't like it. But in this gun, I adapted to it. I still am not in love with it on the EZ series. But guess who wanted it? Maybe. The target market. Non-gun people. They're like, yeah, dude, give me every safety, convenience you can give me. And Smith & Wesson said, sure, we'll go and design a grip safety in there. And it has a real low retraction force. So it's not a stiff grip safety. So people with limited hand strength will have no problem depressing it. So there's 3 features right there to make a non-gun owner comfortable with their first semi-automatic pistol. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, now you're understanding why they came out with it, and it's a very smart thing that Smith & Wesson is doing. Here's your sights, by the way. Standard Smith & Wesson. I'm getting ready to rail here on something, and not on the EZ. Not on the EZ. I'm going to rail on how stiff Smith & Wesson mounts their damn sights. Okay, hey, you non-gun people, tune out for a minute. I'm just going to talk to my audience because it really irritates me. So I had to put the Apex tactical trigger in this, and part of that is you have to remove the rear sight to get to the plunger. And I did that, and dude, this sight would not come off. Yes, I unscrewed the screw, no problem. The screw's completely out. I start tapping on it with a Delrin tapper. That shattered. Wood tapper, broken half. Small steel punch, started bending. I'm like, what the hell is going on with this thing? I heated it up. So I removed the slide. I had it mounted in a vise, a leather padded vise, tight. And I started smacking it. You can see the damage here. And nothing happened. I had to get like a huge punch and a construction hammer to get it out of the dovetail. I've never had a rear sight mounted so stupidly. Yeah, keep ranting on. We love it. It's stupid. I've mounted a ton of sights over my lifespan. I've never had that. And Smith & Wesson, I think, is kind of known for that. I'm like, dude, that's way too tough. Especially if you have a set screw right here. Oh my gosh. And then when I put... That's a damage I had to do to get it out. You couldn't have done any better. I'm saying you couldn't have. There's no way I was going to get it out. I tried a sight pusher I had. Totally failed. Yeah, I had the little screw up against it. I'm cranking it. And it had so much pressure that when it slipped off that slanted portion, it sparked. It went pink. I thought I was looking at flint and steel. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have to get this out. Old school. So I heated it up, thinking maybe they put it in with red Loctite. Stupid. And I finally got it out. Holy freak. Rant complete. That was fun, nothing. Do it more. I'm just saying, it's stupid what they do. And I hope they've changed. I hope the rear sight in this one isn't mounted like that. I don't think it is, because to adjust this sight, you do it from the bottom of the slide for windage. So different. And that one's not that way. The regular Shield. I don't know if the M2O is. A standard front sight, 3-dot variety. I feel so much better after that rant. Hey, nothing. Why didn't you put a new rear sight on that? Here's why. I didn't want to spend money on it. This is a tool gun for me, so I don't really care. I just bunged it up, re-blued it, kind of. Just run on with this. And it's a funny story. So anybody who looks at that gun, they're like, what the hell happened to your gun? I was like, oh, do you got 5 minutes? I'll let you know what happened. Here we go with the standard fish scale scalloping of the slide. And I do like it. I liked it way back when I talked about it with this pistol, right? We do have a cool new addition, speaking of features that non-gun people might like. We have wings at the rear of the slide to aid in retraction, aid in grip. Look at that. A la VP9, except these are milled into the gun. Very cool. Scallop slide, just like a regular M&P22, I think, was milled this way. I should have brought my full size out. Sorry I didn't. Some scalloping going on right here. 1913 rail, that's very cool. Standard takedown that we're used to. There's your slide lock right here. And that takes us to the safety of the Smith & Wesson Shield EZ series. Again, this is a 380. Can you believe it? That I got a 380 for test and review. I had a quantity of 380 ammo I wanted to shoot up, and I don't do too many 380s. That's why I got it. We'll talk about how it shot here in a second. On to the trigger of the gun. It's actually pretty good. I was surprised. Non-articulated, unlike most triggers in the Smith & Wesson M&P series, right, including the M2O. Again, I have an Apex tactical trigger on here. By the way, it's awesome. Very difficult to install. Total pain in the butt. Total pain in the butt. I don't recommend it, really. It's very time consuming. But once it's in, it's awesome. The M2O, you don't have to worry about. Great. But it also has an articulated trigger. This one does not. Solid plastic, I should say polymer. But it pulls great. It pulls really excellent. Okay, let me demonstrate that. Now on this gun, we have to remember that freaking grip safety, right? If you don't depress it, the trigger will not go boom. So I got to do this in an awkward way because I'm in front of the camera. Okay, safe direction, safety checked. Trigger is nice. Now let me pull it normal right here. I can do it this, I guess. That's a good trigger. All of us who shot the EZ was like, well, the trigger's decent. And when that slide goes all the way to the rear, the hammer is fully cocked. So it's partially cocked normally, and then when the hammer either cycles or you retract it, then it's fully cocked. So it has a pretty lightweight release. Deep, you have to go kind of deep. So there's your take up right there on the EZ. Again, I'm not depressing that grip safety, so I can't pull it. There we go. Now, most folks buying this gun won't know what a good trigger is because they just don't have a lot of experience. And so maybe they get used to this and they go to a normal Shield circa 2014 and they go, what the hell? What is wrong with that trigger? Not an M2O. And they go, I thought Smith & Wesson made good triggers. Smith & Wesson has since rectified it with M2O. I've talked about that, but it's pretty funny. Some pull very stiff, just like this Honor Guard. It has an atrocious trigger. By the way, it looks like a Shield, doesn't it? Looks like a freaking Shield copy to me. Honor Guard, Defense, Honor Defense, look at that. I'll review that separately. Anyways, I've been showing it in a couple videos. Yeah, so I like the trigger. I think it's fantastic for what it is. I didn't really show you the reset, I guess. Like people who buy this gun, they care about reset. But I'll show it to you. Okay, so we pull the trigger. Slide racks. Pretty short reset. Pretty short reset, right? There's your magazine release. It is reversible to the left. Just like any other Shield we've seen. Traction on the grip is, it's not great. It's not great. It could be much improved. They had to put like M2O traction on this. The M2O is amazing. It's like that laser stippling. Go watch my review on that. The traction was bad on this one, so bad that I put, you know, a grip application on there. Really thin. I forget what brand that is. There's several brands, but man, it just improves it so much because this had the same problem. It did. And before I put the money in this, the Apex Tactical, and putting the grip application on it and going through the hassle and the time, I really asked myself, is it really worth it? Shouldn't I just sell this one and get a Shield M2O? But the thing is I use this gun in California and it's on the California DOJ list. The original Shield. Yeah, that's why. That's why. It will go to California once in a while. Yeah, for now, it's state legal. Who knows what's coming in the future? Probably bad things. So, like I mentioned several times, I think this gun borrows heavily from the Smith & Wesson M&P 22 is what I'm trying to say. Really cool gun, about the same size, same weight, very lightweight, 13.6 ounces. Again, 23 ounces in the 9mm format. Same weight as this, kind of. This one is actually 21, about 22, 21.7, so it's a little bit lighter. By the way, the watch for the review is the Glycine Airman GMT. Oh, previously reviewed, so inexpensive, you would have been blown away had you got one. Too late, they're probably gone. All right, on with features. 8-round magazine, super easy to load. Another thing that people wanted. They didn't want a stiff magazine, which the Shield does have, by the way. A normal Shield, their magazine, dude, it's a pain in the butt to load. Here's an 8-rounder. And it's if it's new and fresh and hasn't been loaded for a long time, it's difficult for some people. Yeah, orange follower, slotted, retraction tabs. It's like a 22, really. It really is. It's like a 22. I'm not sure if the 9mm version has all these features. This is, again, the 380 version. It probably does. Stainless steel, polymer base plate. Here is the funneling going on, kind of, sort of. Still has the same Shield hump that we've seen before. Upper left. And I think that's features, more or less. It takes down the same way. No big surprises there. How did it shoot? Nothing fancy. Well, I got to be honest. I always am. It had some stoppages. ladies and gentlemen of the project, and it pissed me off. I mean, I was like, I knew this thing was a piece of crap. That's what I was saying. Oh, the crew and I was like, I knew this thing was going to have an issue. Yeah, it had some stoppages, but it quit.
Yeah, but still,
and maybe it's because it's kind of like that 22, that it's kind of like some 380s that we shot here in the project. They need a break-in time. And I think the manual might say so. In the Shield EZ manual, it might say so. Yeah, you need to run it such and such rounds before you can expect it to be reliable. And it did. So we shot it about 400 rounds. And after probably, I'm going off memory, I think it was like magazine 6, the stoppages quit. We shot mostly FMJs through it, but we shot a fair amount to JHPs for accuracy testing, which, by the way, I have no paper to show you. So embarrassed about that. But as I recollect, it shot very accurately for what it was. And once it started getting reliable, and we saw that you can shoot accurately with it, it has a very low slide retraction force, has a great trigger, has a great form factor, by the way, so it's not a micro pistol. It's not a pistol that's super tiny that might be harder to hold on to. Look at the grip of the Glock 43 by way of comparison. Very abbreviated, right? So you're going to have more to grasp, and that is a trend in the concealed carry market currently, and it will come and go, and then we'll go back to micro compact. But now people are liking kind of a mid-sized carry pistol, and that is plumb where the Smith & Wesson Shield EZ series falls. It's a mid-size. It's not huge. Well, let's compare it against my Shield, and you can see kind of a difference here. So my Shield here, you can see that it's shorter in the slide, right? And I have the 8-round grip in it, so that's not really demonstrative of how short the grip is. The grip is shorter on mine. You can see where it ends right here. So a regular Shield, maybe the M2O as well, is going to be more compact. This is more comfortable for a lot of shooters. Really fun to shoot. That's the bottom line. When it's reliable. But you can hit with it. Really low muzzle flip. In the 380 caliber, it's such a pussycat to shoot. So enjoyable. We're like, man, this is like shooting a 22. But you're shooting a very reliable centerfire cartridge in the 380. And if you load it right, 380 is, it's something. There's some very potent loads in 380. Is it my first carry choice? Absolutely not. And if I do carry a 380, it's going to be, you guessed it, a Ruger LCP2, which I absolutely love. But that's a tiny pistol. It doesn't have all the safety features and the cool things that a lot of people like on this gun. No, the LCP2 is more of an experienced shooter's gun. But that's my go-to 380. It's been that way a long time. I absolutely recommend it if you're good with its battery of arms. So, reliability became good. Accuracy was good all along. Very enjoyable to shoot. Would I buy a Smith & Wesson Shield 380 or Shield 9mm EZ, Shield 9 EZ? For me, if you're asking me, the answer is absolutely not. There's that brutal honesty again. I wouldn't. No, I don't. For me as an experienced shooter, I don't like all this. I don't like that, I don't like that, I don't like that. You know how I roll. I ain't gonna lie to you. I liked it, but I would much rather buy a Shield M2O over that. If we're staying in the Smith & Wesson product line, I'd much rather buy, granted it's going to be a lot more money, a SIG P365. Here's an XL. I'd much rather buy, yeah, I know it's a smaller grip, but I'm good with that, dude. I'd much rather buy a Glock 43, dude. I'd rather buy a Springfield Armory Hellcat. Yeah, maybe a Mossberg MC1, maybe. No, but I understand and appreciate the need for this gun. That's really the focus of this video. That is not about me. This is about people who have those limitations that are looking for a gun they can enjoy to shoot. A gun that they can get confident in shooting, and it has those features that will help them. So I think for those shooters and for female shooters that like the low retraction force on the slide, thumbs up for Smith & Wesson producing the gun. Not just in 380, but in 9mm as well. Golf clap. Yeah, it's great for what it is. It is recommended in the project. No, not my first, second, third, or even fourth carry choice. But for you and your physical limitations, it might be just right. Thanks so much for being part of the Nut Fancy project. Yeah, like I said, we're well past year 14. What is this? Video 2651. Continue to be a donor. That is the reason I work so hard for you guys and gals in the project. I really appreciate it. At least subscribe in YouTube or wherever else I may go. Who knows what the future holds? It is uncertain. Thanks. We'll see ya.